You're listening to the SSPX podcast. We're happy to present another installment of True Heroes, stories of the lives of the saints, delivered by Father Thomas Tamm. Father has also put together a video of each of these episodes. You can see the video at sspxpodcast.com. Now, here's Father Tamm.
The just shall rejoice in the Lord, and shall hope in him, and all the upright in heart shall be praised. Psalm 63. Hey, welcome to True Heroes. Today we will be considering the life of Saint Stanslaus, bishop and martyr of Poland, who alone stood in defiance of his king for the crimes he committed against God and his church. Just as a forewarning, he is, as I said, a martyr of Poland. And what the Polish like to do is they like to have very long names, most of which the letters are consonants as opposed to vowels, and so are therefore impronounceable. So I'm going to have my brother Andrew, hopefully, will put the words, the names of places that are not pronounceable on screen, and maybe the proper pronunciation as well, I don't know. But just as a forewarning, this is not going to end well. Let us begin his story. The name Stanslaus comes from the Slavic and means one who achieves glory or fame. So it certainly seems that Saint Stanislaus lives up to this name. Born in, Andrew put up the name of that place, near Krakow on July 26, 1030, he was ordained a priest after being educated in the cathedral schools of, Andrew put up that next name, thank you, which was then the capital of Poland and also at Paris. He was appointed preacher and archdeacon of the Bishop of Krakow, where his eloquence and example brought about real conversion in many of his penitents, both clergy and laity. He became a much sought-after spiritual advisor, and he was successful in his reforming efforts, and in 1072 he himself was named Bishop of Krakow. During an expedition against the Grand Duchy of Kiev, Stanislaus became involved in the political situation of Poland. Known for his outspokenness, he aimed his attacks at the evils of the peasantry, and he even incurred the enmity of King Bolesław the Bold when he denounced the king's cruelties and injustices, and especially his kidnapping of the beautiful wife of a nobleman. Saint Stanislaus was in fact the only one in the country who would rebuke him for this. Stanislaus continued his open opposition in spite of charges of treason and threats of death. At one point, the king convinced one of his people to complain that Saint Stanislaus had not paid for a piece of land sold to him by his uncle, who was now dead. All those who witnessed the buying and selling of the land abandoned Stanislaus and would not defend him for fear of the wrath of the king. Stanislaus therefore called his own witness. After much prayer and fasting, Stanislaus went to the grave of the uncle, raised him from the dead, and presented him before the king. The man acknowledged that Stanislaus had paid for the land, and the man then died again. After this, the whole matter, of course, was dropped. The king first excused himself and then made a show of penance, but after a while he relapsed back into his old sinful ways. Finally, Stanislaus excommunicated him and stopped the services at the cathedral when the king would enter. In defiance of this excommunication, on May 8th, 1079, the king went down to a chapel where the bishop himself was saying mass and sent in 3 companies of soldiers to murder him at the altar. Each in turn came out saying they had been scared by a light from heaven. Then the king rushed in and slew the saint at the altar with his own hand. The king then threw the saint's body into a field to be devoured by wild beasts. But the body of the saint was defended by eagles, which would not allow any other creatures to approach the body. until the followers of Stanslaus, being guided by a heavenly light, found it and brought it to safety at the cathedral in Krakow. Forced to flee to Hungary, Bolesław supposedly spent the rest of his life as a penitent in the Benedictine abbey in Osiek, though this is not confirmed. From the life of Saint Stanislaus, let us learn to stand up for our faith at all costs, even if we are to be punished or persecuted for it. Any punishment or persecution is meant to be a means of drawing closer to God, so let us use them then in that way. Thank you all for joining me. Tomorrow is our first feria, and I am not sure what we are going to do yet for ferias, so I guess I will just leave you in that suspense for now. Until then, God bless you all, my friends. Saint Stanislaus, pray for us.